But first then, for the latest from Iran, the Israeli military said that it killed a top Iranian commander Saturday. Saeed Izzadi, who led the Palestine Corps of the Quds Force, was killed in an airstrike on an apartment in the city of Qom, according to the Israeli defense minister. Israel also said that it hit an Iranian nuclear research facility. And while it has continued to claim that it's focusing on military targets in its war on Iran, at least 430 people have been killed and over 3,500 injured since the start of the conflict, according to Iranian health authorities. Well, for the latest on the Israeli side, we're going to cross now to France 24's Norris Trent in Jerusalem. Hi there, Catherine. So what are we hearing from...
Good afternoon, Erin.
Good afternoon. So what are we hearing from Israeli officials then about these latest targeted assassinations?
Yeah, the Israeli military said that it had carried out what it called 3 targeted eliminations of high-profile figures overnight, and briefing journalists on those. They said they had killed Mohammed Saeed Izzadi, the commander of the Palestine branch of the Al-Quds Force. That's the foreign branch of the Islamic Revolutionary Guards Corps. They said they managed to eliminate him, in their words, kill him, while he was in a safe house in hiding in the Iranian city of Qom. They said that that was extremely significant to them because he had been supplying arms and weapons to Hamas in the run-up to October the 7th, and they described him as one of the architects of those terror attacks, and they'd been hunting him down for quite some time. They also said that they managed to kill Benham Shariyahi, another member of the Al-Quds Force who'd been financing, they said, and sending arms to Hezbollah. And they said that overnight they took out a high-up member of the Air Force of the Revolutionary Guards in Iran, who was a commander of the drone unit. We know Iran has been flying drones, not just firing ballistic missiles at Israel. The military official said that they had managed to track down and kill these 3 men based on years of surveillance, but also, interestingly, on real-time intelligence that they were still getting from within Iran, saying that Iran's leadership, I'm quoting here, are on the run, and they know that we know where they are. So sending out a message there that they are continuing to hunt down anyone, they say, is planning to try and attack Israel inside Iran.
Now, we heard, Catherine, Israeli officials say earlier today that the country should be prepared for a long campaign. How have Israeli citizens that you've been speaking to been reacting then to the prospect of a very prolonged war, especially as the war in Gaza is, of course, not resolved either?
Yeah, I think this is interesting because initially we've seen a big wave of public support for the opening of this new front in Iran, for these attacks on Iran by the Israeli military. Initial opinion polls came out showing that support among Jewish Israelis was over 80%. Much less, it has to be said, among Palestinians living in Israel, or Arab Israelis, far lower there. But there are now among people we've been speaking to, elements of concern creeping in about the warnings that this could be a longer-term conflict, as we've heard from the IDF Chief of Staff and from Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on Friday. People we've been speaking to telling us that they are very anxious amid the ongoing missile strikes and alerts, which again took place overnight, and we saw strikes again hitting Israeli soil. People telling us that they're worried long-term how this will affect their lives going on, that they've been living in a state of anxiety pretty much since October the 7th. I mean, there is a sense among Israelis we've been speaking to that a lot of them see this as a necessary conflict in order to take out what they see as an existential threat. But going forward, people are asking questions about how long this can be maintained for the well-being of their children, on broken night's sleep, for the state of the economy. It's having an impact here for the state of people's mental health, and wondering really whether the Israeli military, the Israeli authorities can achieve their stated goals of taking out the nuclear program if they don't get American support, which a lot of Jewish Israelis desperately want. So concerns starting to creep in about whether Israel has an effective exit strategy here, and whether now that they've started this fight that they have to carry it on, and how high the cost of that will be.
Catherine Norris Trent, thank you very much.